All right, welcome back. We're going to look at a specific derivation of the Poisson distribution. So to get started with that, let's first define the Poisson process. The definition is here. It says let the number of changes that occur in a given continuous interval be counted. We have an approximate Poisson process with parameter lambda greater than 0 if the following are satisfied. The number of changes occurs in non-overlapping intervals are independent. The probability of exactly one change is in a sufficiently short interval of length h as approximately lambda h, and the probability of two or more changes in a sufficiently short interval is essentially zero. Note that the modifications to the words like approximately and essentially are to create a little bit of a ease in the amount of mathematics we are requiring to do. So let's jump here then and go to, okay, so this is for 115, this is Math 360, section 3.5. All right, suppose an experiment satisfies A through C of the Poisson process introduced earlier. Okay, so we're going to start off with that process. And then we're going to let x equal the number of changes in a length of 1 here. And 1 is in quotes because we want to make 1 sufficiently small so that it satisfies the Poisson processes, specifically that the number of overlapping values is they're all independent and that they're not overlapping. So we're really partitioning this number line up, or this interval up, and we want each interval to be sufficiently short, that length of 1, so that you're only having one approximation, or sorry, not one approximation, one event occurring per length, per unit length. Okay, so what we're trying to figure out is the probability of x when x is equal to x. So when does that occur? So this is the interval that we're referring to here, and so this is how I'm picturing it. We're going to break this up into n intervals. We're going to make these sufficiently large enough. We're going to make n big enough so that we have sufficiently small intervals, and so that we are approaching that idea of one change per interval. Okay, and that they're not overlapping as well. Super important. Okay, so with those assumptions in our partition here, so we're making up these n subintervals so that we have again, they're not overlapping, and we have one change per interval. Okay, and then the probability of change is 1 over n. N and 1 over n length is approximately equal to lambda divided by n. That was part B of the Poisson process. And then we also know that we should make our intervals small enough so that the probability of two events happening in any one of these intervals is 0. And if that's true, that's really helpful because then that creates the conditions that we need for a Bernoulli sample to occur. And so we have then one change per subinterval. And so you get here a Bernoulli test. If we assume that these are independent, which we are, then you either have a yes or a no, or a 0 and a 1, or 1 and a 0, however you choose to define it. But look, you have n Bernoulli trials according to the subinterval, the partition that we've just created, because because the Poisson process is being satisfied. Okay, then the probability of x equaling x is equal to the f of x, or the binomial probability, which is n factorial over x factorial times n minus x factorial, divided or times lambda over n to the x. This is p. Lambda over n is p, and 1 minus p. This is q here. Okay, and so then the cool thing is now if we let n go to infinity, then f of x approaches lambda to the x, e to the negative lambda over x factorial. And this is exactly the Poisson distribution of which we are trying to get to. Okay, all right, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.